So, Riginarazione is how you say this episode's title, and this episode perfectly encapsulates losing a loved one, with Marinette going through the 5 stages of grief. And while this episode isn't lore heavy, it's still bittersweet, but anyway, let's talk about it. So the episode begins in the bakery with Gina teaching Marinette how to make bracciola for Grandpa Roland's birthday. And as you can see, the finished product actually looks pretty good. But suddenly Gina gets an alert on her watch about Roland's health and she freezes in fear, and excuses herself by lying, saying she has to go to a concert, so she can secretly leave to go check up on Roland, which successfully convinces Marinette. But when she gets to his house, he's perfectly fine, and he alerted her to come change the channel on his TV, to which she gets mad since remotes exist, which he isn't used to, and reveals he was joking. But that's not the only reason he called Gina for. The real reason is because he's dying, and he already sold the house in preparations for it, and Gina thinks it's time he told Marinette the truth about his health. But he hesitates until Gina, through her contained emotions, gives him the phone anyway to make him call her, and he agrees to tell Marinette that his time is running out. After the intro, we see Marinette video chatting Adrian, saying she finished the soccer jerseys she made as a gift for Roland's birthday. And then she says,
"Now all we gotta do is learn how to play."
What?
"Now all we gotta do is learn how to play."
I'm sorry, my bad ears must be malfunctioning because it's...
"Now all we gotta do is learn how to play."
Did you just say you didn't know how to play soccer? Okay, here comes the rant. So in Furious Fu in Season 4, her and Cat Noir played soccer with the Miracle Box to keep it out of Fu and Suhan's hands, and they both seem to know how to play. Then in Penalteam in the same season, they play soccer against Chloe as Penalteam, with her whole Miraculous team, and saying,
"Come on, I know the secrets of this game."
Which for some reason Adrian seemed to forgot he already knew how to play soccer. And this is the episode right before the season finale. Now in Riginarazione, Marinette doesn't know how to play soccer, but now Adrian seems to know more than she does? Anyway, Marinette walks downstairs seeing Roland's birthday cake having 150 on it. And while he isn't turning that age, Gina explains when she and Roland were married, they'd celebrate their birthdays together, even though they weren't born on the same day. And now that they're together again thanks to Marinette, they're reviving the tradition, since 75 years plus 75 years equals 150 years. Then Marinette gets a call from Roland to come to his house, even though she says she was going to go on a date with Adrian. And she'll see him at his party tonight anyway, as Gina grabs the phone saying Marinette will be there, with Tom saying the fact Roland had to use a phone to call them, he probably has something important to tell her, meaning I guess he used to fax them messages or something? Anyway, she says she'll drop by Roland's house quickly and then she's off to her date with Adrian at his house. At Roland's house, Marinette arrives, and with him not wanting to tell her he's dying, he instead lies about it, actually telling her today's the day he'll teach her how to make Parisian croûte, which I had to look up what a croûte is, and it's pretty much just Parisian bread used as a foundation for savory toppings, and this is what it looks like. Anyway, Marinette wonders what a Parisian croûte is since she's never heard of it, but Roland lies saying it used to be called a Lutetian croûte, which actually doesn't exist, and he says it was the greatest creation of their ancestor, Laufamix the Gaul, which Roland did mention him back in Bakerix in Season 3, like how the yeast he's holding is also from Laufamix, and Roland is the only one who knows how to make it, and didn't teach it to Tom because he didn't like it, with Marinette asking how long does it take to make a Parisian croûte, and Roland says as long as it takes, with Marinette saying they can do this another day, and Roland insisting it has to be done today, which prompts Marinette to stay to make him happy. Later, Marinette finishes making the dough, with Roland telling her to add more ingredients to make her stay, as he tries to think of a way to tell her about his bad health. But Marinette instinctively wants to leave to get to her date with Adrian, which prompts Roland to stop and tell her the truth, saying there is no Parisian croûte, and essentially tells her he's slowly dying, since the doctors told him his heart is too weak, and Marinette breaks down with him wanting to give her the yeast, the secret ingredient to their family's bread for generations, and now it's time for her to inherit it. But Marinette sadly refuses, saying it's gonna stay with him, and runs out sobbing, not wanting things to change, and goes into an alley to transform into Ladybug to run and swing around Paris out of devastation. And as she swings, someone sees her. Wait, is that Lila? Sorry, force of habit, not everyone is Lila. Though yeah, she does change clothes every time. One thing that does stay consistent is the hair color. It's always black whenever she does her journal entries, like Aglae's but without the white highlights. And we know Lila probably has lots of wigs. But seriously, if that is her, I'll gladly eat my words with salt. Anyway, Marinette swings onto the ground, de-transforming, with Tiki saying I'm sure they can come up with a solution. And Marinette says no magic power can fix this. Too bad there's no Miraculous of healing. Later at Adrian's house, Marinette was angrily playing foosball with him, while ranting about how unfair it is that Roland is dying, and that she barely got to spend any time with him, but not explicitly saying that. And Adrian knows something is bothering her, and they hug while Marinette cries on him. And then she tells him about Roland's condition off screen, and Adrian tells her she can cry as much as she needs to. Then she invites Adrian to come to Roland's party, and he says yes. And at the party, everyone was trying the Parisian croûte Marinette made, and it was surprisingly delicious. Next, Roland opens his gift seeing Marinette's soccer jerseys she made for him and everyone else. And Gina starts remembering the times of the past. Marinette as a baby with Sabine, which I just noticed baby Marinette has space pigtails, similar to Shadybug's space buns. That's cool. Roland feeding Tom as a baby. And finally, Adrian puts on a record player and dances with Marinette, which makes Gina remember how her and Roland used to dance in the past. And now it's time for cake. And as Roland was blowing out the candles, he starts to feel woozy, almost falling out the chair before Tom catches him, which causes Gina to freeze with fear, and Tom picks up Roland, carrying him to his bed, and the others follow. As Gina stays in the room holding the box of cookies crying, suddenly the Ultra Kuma enters the room through an open window, akumatizing Gina into the episode's tongue twister of a title, Riginarazione. Also, I know Lila can probably sense whenever someone's upset with the butterfly Miraculous like Gabe does, but isn't it weird that the person that saw Ladybug swinging around sad and this akumatization happen on the same day? Even when by this point Lila already suspects Marinette of being Ladybug? Maybe it's just coincidence. Also, as Gina transforms into Riginarazione, the back of her vest has an hourglass symbol on it, which kind of reminded me of Lila's Time Stalker costume logo in the London special. Anyway, Roland forces his way downstairs saying he doesn't need help, as they all come face to face with Gina, now Riginarazione, who has a gun that can make you younger with pink blasts and older with green blasts. And she blasts Roland with pink blasts, making him younger, so they can have another chance to do the things they never got a chance to do in the past. As Tom and Sabine try to reason with Gina, she blasts Tom with pink blasts, regressing him into a baby, with Sabine dodging the blasts like a pro. Now Gina takes young Roland away as Marinette comes up with an excuse to leave. Seeing Gina and Roland get onto the hoverbike and flying away, Marinette runs into an alley, transforming into Ladybug to go after them. Then Gina takes Roland to a dance party near the Seine, and turns XY older, looking like his father, Bob Roth. Then Ladybug crashes the party and Gina tries to blast her with green blasts, turning her older, with Ladybug accidentally almost calling her grandma, which I guess Lila didn't catch that slip up, and probably thought Ladybug said it as an insult. But anyway, she actually gets hit, turning slightly older, into a young adult with a pixie cut hairstyle. And actually, this goes back to what I said in my Heart Fixer review, so I guess add that to the parallels she and Marinette have, along with them dressing similar this season, both lie and manipulate in their own ways, and the fact grown-up Ladybug in Riginarazione looks like Lila with the pixie cut hairstyle. I honestly don't mind Ladybug with that hairstyle. It also kind of reminds me of this tweet of pictures Thomas Astruck drew on his Twitter page in 2017, which I guess foreshadowed this. Also, Christina V's deep voice as older Ladybug.
Want more cookies, kitty? If you give me a good cataclysm, you're in for a treat.
There's a lot of things I can say about how hot that voice sounds, since she's now sounding more like Verosica from Hell of a Boss.
You're right. Nobody wants his dick anyway.
Anyway, Adrian leaves baby Tom and Sabine to go transform to help Ladybug, and he makes it there seeing older Ladybug. And you know, if he wasn't dating Marinette, he probably would have folded like a lawn chair right there for her. And as Cat Noir saves a bus from crashing, he gets hit with pink blasts, turning him into a baby, which for some reason he can still use his cataclysm multiple times despite being underage, and should have a time limit for his automatic detransformation. Personally, what I think is happening here is kinda like Lloyd from Ninjago, becoming a teenager through unconventional means, but backwards, since he is a kid in a teenager's body, and Cat Noir is a teenager in a baby's body, so his mental state is still over the age limit for that no time limit rule despite him being a baby. Anyway, after baby Noir almost gets hit by a train, he actually takes one of Ladybug's earrings off, making her detransform slowly, but she puts it back on. And hey, he did more than Gabe ever could. Then Adult Bug and baby Noir see a trail of cookies Roland dropped purposely, and they follow it, seeing him and Regina Riginarazione in a store, and Adult Bug summons a Lucky Charm harness putting Baby Noir in it, as she then wraps her yo-yo around Reginarazione's gun, and as she inches closer she continuously gets blasted with green blasts, getting older and older until she becomes Granny Bug, while Baby Noir grabs the gun, cataclysming it, turning Gina back to normal, with her wishing Roland had a bit more time, with him saying he had a great life and has a great family with no regrets. And after Granny Bug tells Gina to hold Baby Noir, she casts the Miraculous Ladybug, turning everything back to normal, with Gina holding normal Cat Noir. And wow, either Gina is insanely strong, or Cat Noir is light as a feather. Oh my god. Anyway, after Ladybug gives Gina the magical charm, she watches her and Roland walk away, quietly saying goodbye. And after a quick Lila journal entry with no episode end card this time, they don't tell us Roland is dead, but it is heavily implied. They show his house being cleaned up, Gina going to Brazil I think with his rats, Tom and Sabine actually making and serving Roland and Marinette's Parisian croûte in the bakery, Marinette finally changing her desktop background, and her having the yeast Roland gave her, and finally Adrien listening to Roland's record player, and that's how the episode ends. And one thing I do wonder is, did Marinette at least tell Roland she was Ladybug before he died? I really hope she did, as sort of her final words to him. Anyway, I really love this episode. It really captures how losing a loved one feels, and trying to cope with the loss. But I really hope this loss doesn't spiral Marinette into going down the same dark path Gabe did. But those were just my thoughts. You can tell me yours in the comments. Anyway, bye bye.